What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. So today we have got our weekly thoughts podcast on a Monday morning on the 12th of January as we are recording this. So if anything does go through around transfers or any kind of news that we're talking about that isn't any longer true, it's just the way that time works, really. We can only...
It's just the way that time
we
works.
can't just like go back and forth in time and clip it all together, can we? No.
Mate, maybe we should start one of them with your children's videos for 200 million views. Just the way, this is the way time works.
Yeah,
Magical.
every week we follow Villa through time. Anyway, how are you doing since
mate, I'm good. What a weekend, mate. I'm still recovering, if I'm honest, from Saturday's performance. Look, we're getting to that we're at that midway point, aren't we, where I'm just dreaming of can we be consistent enough to carry on? Because it's all
same again.
Can we do the same again, right? Yeah. And that's what we got to try and work at. And it's as I've said from the start of the season, like we're so close to greatness. We're so close. I can smell it. I can taste it. I feel like Emery knows exactly what he needs to do to get it. Like it's if these transfer rumours are to be believed and we can get Tammy and Conor Gallagher, that is going to be a massive boost. I think we spoke about it, and I have had several conversations with other people about it, that like as a interim signings, I don't see these as like superstar kind of, these are what we're going to rely on. I see these as we need to bolster the squad for January, to push on to do exactly that and continue at this like run.
Well, the key word there is, and not just for now, for the next 1, 2, 3 years, we need a squad.
Yeah,
we need a squad of quality players who are, not happy to play second fiddle, but happy to come into the team when they need to, rotate around, playing European games, playing cups. Like, we're talking about the FA Cup and like trying to challenge on 3 fronts. You need players of the quality of Tammy Abraham, Conor Gallagher, Gonzalez, or whatever these players are.
Yeah.
You need them. You need more than just that 13, 14 players. You need 16, 17, 18 players like to compete on those levels. So
like you do with the amount of football we've been played. You don't if you're a Man United fan. I've got to get this in.
Yeah, so what was it? Since 1917?
No, it'll be the fewest amount of games since they've played since 80-81 season, I think it is. And but it's like nearly 100 years or something since they. I don't know that. I can't remember the stat. They said it on Talk Sport this morning, but it's fucking embarrassing, is what it is.
Incredible. I can't find it. I can't find it in this chat because there's way too many messages in it. But it's quite hilarious, isn't it? They're only going to have like 40 games this season, which is the first time in like over 100 since pre-war. It's absolutely ridiculous. But they and let's go on.
Just the meltdown's brilliant. This is something
it's wonderful to watch, isn't it? It's wonderful to watch. And what gets me, so we're actually I'm gonna jump a little bit onto the talk about only shortly, because it's a laughable that we even need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk of Emery potentially being targeted by United, all this kind of stuff, right? It's just the fact that they're in this position, and they've been in this position now for quite a few seasons.
13 years, mate.
And the arrogance of it, that they still believe that they can just go and do what they want, is baffling.
Yeah, it is.
And truly baffling. And yes, you can go get a player who all they want is, they don't really care about the career, they want the glory and they want money. So yeah, you can go get them, but that's not.
Mate, it's like Brooklyn Beckham pretending to be David Beckham. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. It's like you're living off the name. You're living off the name.
They're wearing a shirt. He's wearing a shirt. It kind of looks a bit like him, but when he gets on the pitch, he's like,
"Oh, hang on a minute. What's been going on? What's going on?" That's exactly what it is, mate. Look, Man United have got a massive name globally. We know that, but that's it. As a club, they are absolutely fucked. Their owners are shit, and until you sort that out, like it's just mediocrity, and it's not like it's been 1 or 2 seasons. This has been third since Ferguson left. They've done nothing. They've done absolutely nothing. So the sheer arrogance of it is shocking. A couple of FA Cups, fine, right? But if you're comparing to what they've done, where they dominated, it's fuck all, isn't it? And that's why this arrogance just irritates me. So that it's, mate, for me, as a 46-year-old man in the 90s when I was in my teens, right, and they dominated everything. They stole our players and they just stole everyone's players, right? And they were the first to do it. Like it was. This is the day I've been fucking living for. So fuck you, United fans. I hope you all no European football. Like just
And if I'm honest, I love the fact that there's the demise of them, but the fact that it's coinciding with this such wonderful time for us just makes it all the better, mate. All the better.
No, mate, it might be short-lived for us, right? But like,
of course it might. I don't think it will be though.
I don't think it will be. But it could be.
I think we all only ever caveat all these things as Villa fans because we've been burnt so many times, and that we're kind of sitting there going, it's almost too good to be true. Like we're kind of sitting there going, oh, it might not last. Emery might leave. Oh, we might just do that. Blah blah blah. Yeah. But realistically, mate, we're just a very good team. We're just a very good team on the pitch, off the pitch. We're just a brilliantly run club now. So it's here for the foreseeable, if I'm honest.
It's a time to be alive, mate. It's a time to be a Villa fan. Fucking get in there, son.
Exactly. So just wanted to get onto this. So this
Other than Emery is a failure for me. Need to do everything to get him. You know what though? You know the big problem with Emery. I just don't know how you get Unai Emery out of Aston Villa. Aston Villa are,
and I think that's just on that, by the way. I think that's nothing to do with Man U.
No.
That's just, I think, any club, and the thing is everyone will say, oh, well, if City came in or if, whatever, even if they came in, the thing is the structure of how he's set up at Villa, he's not going to get there. He's not going to get the time. He's not going to get the kind of like stuff. Yeah, mate, like you said before.
I'm going to plug this again, but you need to read this because basically I
want to read it. I might just buy it. Buy it. I should probably stop being a cheapskate and just buy it rather than waiting for you to finish.
The owners basically said to Emery, here is a blank piece of paper, build the club how you want it to look. That's what, and they've taken a back seat and just backed him. There isn't a club in the Premier League or in world football that are going to do that for any manager. Like Goldbridge says there, I don't know how you do it. Like it's going to have to be a personal choice from Emery to up and leave. Do you know what I mean? That's the only way it happens. So
are better than Manchester United. Aston Villa are going to be in the Champions League again next year. Last January, Aston Villa bought him 5 players. This January, they're trying to get him another 2. He gets huge support at Aston Villa. And why would you leave Aston Villa to come to Man United? I mean, I can understand why you would because it's Man United, but he's not going to get the freedom that he gets at Aston Villa.
Honestly, why is it with people? I understand why you would because it's Man United. Man United have not been a great. It's like saying, "Oh yeah, leave because it's Blackburn." Yeah. They had success back in
1995.
Yeah, no, honestly, just try it, man. Anyway, I don't want to focus on
that. These people, Goldbridge, he would have been of that era where, support United when they dominated. So it's living off the name of the past, going, well, we're such a global brand and we're such a massive club, which they are. Right?
They are,
but that,
money-wise,
but it makes no difference to if you're a professional footballer now. You ain't looking at going to Man United to bolster your career, right? You could go for the money, but because of the toxicity of their board and any manager that goes there, he's just going to have to be a yes man. It's why they're having interim managers of the current squad because they will be told what to do, right? And they'll have to follow the rules. And that's not how you buy success here.
The case of a lot of clubs, though, mate. Now, like Chelsea,
of course it is.
It's the same thing.
But it's back with
the same thing.
Look, it works. This model works. Look at the success we've had allowing Emery. I don't say you let anybody do this. You've got to give them. You've got to vet them, and you get someone like Emery who lives, breathes, eats football, and knows exactly what he's doing. And look at what happens. Look at the rise of Villa over the last 4 years. It's no fluke either way. If you know Emery, get any apart from Arsenal fans, because they're fucking deluded, right? But any other team in Spain that he's managed, or PSG fans, there's no hatred for Emery, right? It's all like, and the fact of the matter is, it just comes down to not having the control. So if you don't get instant success at PSG, if you don't get instant success at Arsenal, then it's deemed a failure. But the reason Man United was so successful, right, is because they allowed Ferguson to do what he wanted to do. He had 6 or 7 years before they actually did anything.
Same with
Arsene Wenger, right? Any successful team over the history of football, the manager has had almost complete control of that team, right?
And the manager, they've managed it.
So, and now, modern football, because it's all about this and people wanting to get paid, like you've got this hierarchy of managing directors, fucking, director of football.
We've got that, but they're under the manager,
Emery. Exactly.
Unheard of, really.
Yeah. Right, the structure, we've seen it. We've used the diagrams on here. Like it's a unique thing, but if you get the right person at the head of that as a manager, mate, like the world's your oyster. And I said on the show yesterday that I sincerely believe that we are edging towards a legacy of being a competing team that's competing for the league and Champions League places on a yearly basis. I think that's what the goal is.
And it won't just be us. Like I've said before, I worry about Spurs over the next 4 or 5 years.
Let's get rid of Thomas Frank first and start again. But
but the way they are financially, if they can get the right people in top, then
absolutely.
They're real force. And the same with like Newcastle as well, and all these kind of. So I think there's just a bit of a changing of the guard at the minute. There's and I think that top group is expanding. I think it's becoming more of an 8 kind of thing, and there's other clubs in the league where if for instance the Brentfords and the Brightons and all these kind of teams, and if they get big takeovers or investment come in and they're run as very well as clubs, again it's not that it's not hard, but it's all about getting the right people, and we've been lucky to an extent. Like we said, he could have gone to Newcastle. So it was a sliding doors moment where he's ended up coming to us. But we've made the right moves at the right time, the right decisions. We've backed the right people, and at the moment, it's coming to fruition. It's just wonderful. I'm loving it. I can't wait to see what happens over the next 3 to 5 years.
It's exciting. It really is.
On to so you had obviously you went to the game on
mate. What? Honestly, let's just talk about this because this was a mad weekend, man. I was on TikTok live on Friday, moaning about not being able to get a ticket out of 9,000 and complaining about the Villa website of being booted off.
You need to do that more often, mate. You need to moan more about not being able to get tickets, and you might be able to get freebies.
Well, mate, maybe that's the way forward because I ain't getting away tickets through the club. So I'm going to leave it to the beautiful supporting Villa fans to hook me up. Right. So basically, I had a message off a friend of mine who said he usually takes her son and was like, and her son's like 23, by the way. She put her back out and 14-year-old. Yeah, because that sounds weird, right? He's a fully grown man, right? And they go as a family. He goes with his brother and his dad and whatnot. And she was like, I've got to put my back out. I don't fancy sitting on a coach for fucking 2.5 hours and then the water to start. I've got a spare ticket. Do you want to go? And I was like, okay. Yeah. She went, but I don't know if I can get you on the coach. And I said, because the coach is in my name. She's like, I'll try and ring the coach company now and see if I can swap it over. And I was like, okay, if you can get me on the coach, I'll definitely go because otherwise I'm going to be struggling. I said driving because it was all icy around here and stuff. I thought fucking driving, we were still snowed in at that point, mate. Our car was surrounded by black ice, so she went, leave it with me. I'll let you know. Anyway, I had a message after I come off the live after. She said, look, I've messaged the company, but they're not getting back to me. I'll have to let you know in the morning. And I was like, okay, well, just let me know. Anyway, R8, it's all done in your name. Off you go. So fucking Sarah dropped me in Powsall to be picked up, and away we went. And like just chatting to her son, like he's a massive Villa fan. They've been going home and away for 20 plus years, I think, something like that. He's a massive McGinn fan. And has been hunting down his shirt, and he'd got this sign made up. And he was on the TV last week with it on TNT, and that's the sign, our meatball, right? And it was obviously, right at the end of the game, they had that massive kerfuffle, right? And it was all kicking off, which I've got it, by the way, because I was right there and I was filming it on live, but fucking internet dodged and it's all fucking laggy and horrible, which is annoying. But yeah, I was like, I saw McGinn, and because he was separating people, but then he came to clap, and I was like, John, look at the fucking sign. And he got and he did. He looked up at it and he pointed at it, and like he went, okay,
yeah, we've got this video, haven't we? Here, I think. Give me a sec.
Here we go.
Yes, people!
He must be screaming at it, so. And be careful, don't go all the way to the end of the video because Harry says something very expletive.
Okay, fine.
We've got McGinn. Super John McGinn.
It was no, it was quality, mate.
Mate, hold that up.
What was it like?
The meatball side works. Look at it. Fucking gets in. Yes, Aaron, love that for you, mate. Fucking quality.
We're laggy as fuck. I don't know what's going on there. That's even worse than when I first downloaded it, mate.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
He held it up. Right, absolutely buzzing. Now, Harry won't mind me saying this. Harry has autism, and but he's a top dude, man. And like he's done lots of stuff with the Villa Foundation, and he sells programs at the ground on match day, and he's just a top dude. And so this was like a special interest for him to get this shirt. So he's kind of absolutely buzzing. He says something on this video which made me cry. Right, I was laughing all the way back, but I can't put
repeat that.
I can't put it on there, right? But Harry, thank you for the memory, right? Because it's going to live with me forever.
Mate, I've got an image in my head now that I don't really want to.
Yeah, no, I think you can all work it out probably, right? But it's like, let your imaginations run wild. And we were walking back to the coach, and like obviously he was looking at the shirt and sniffing it and stuff, and as you do. And some guy offered him 500 quid for it, and he was like, "Nah, no chance." Like. Yeah. He was like,
it's the shirt you want, isn't it? If you think about that team, that 11 or 12, because there was a couple of subs and stuff. Who else would you want the shirt of?
Kamara.
But not in that. Maybe not in that game. He went off at 9 minutes. But yeah, well, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'd love a Kamara shirt. He's
but as an unsung hero who doesn't really get the plaudits, that guy's amazing. But yeah, McGinn is the essence of the club at the moment, isn't he? He's the one that galvanised our season. He's the joker. He just seems like
it's that rise of the Phoenix thing. Even with him,
is. 2.5 million quid, mate. Like
unbelievable.
Arguably one of our greatest signings ever, you could say. Yeah. Like you're not too far wrong. And so that was just a magical moment. Like it was a brilliant day. Like getting a ticket last minute. Brilliant journey down with the coaches. We found this lovely little microbrewery around the corner from the ground. £5 a pint. I was like,
it's amazing in London. That is
in London. £5. Mate, I bought a drink, like a couple of drinks for me and Harry, and he was like, he went £10, and I went. I almost thought. I always went to say, is that wrong? Like,
so have you given me alcohol-free beer?
Yeah. Am I still in Aston? What's going on? So that was pretty cool. And then we obviously win the game, and Harry gets the shirt. So it was the only thing was, and I mentioned we had the nicest coach driver in the world, by the way. He was brilliant, but I was the last stop. Right? I was going back to the depot in Aston, and so it was, and because it was so icy still, it was just lovely. The last 10 people on the coach who were all supposed to get off at the same fucking spot, right? Basically, he started dropping them off on their fucking door. And Sarah was picking me up from Aston, and she was like, "Where are you?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I thought it was going to be next, but looks like I'm going to be another half an hour at least because we're just fucking."
Nightmare.
So I didn't get home until 1 o'clock in the morning, but it was totally worth it. That's what away days are about. 9,000 fans screaming. The atmosphere around us was superb. I think those moments in the FA Cup is what makes it special. I know we'd spoke about that it wasn't necessarily a priority for us and shouldn't be because we've got bigger fish to fry. But there are moments that... Oh, and the other thing that happened that really made it a special day was Palace getting knocked out by Macclesfield because we got that result just as we were getting into London.
And Man U gone. Neither are going to kick us out of this cup. I mean, the draw is today at 6:35.
5, yes.
But you said you were going to try and stream, but you're not going to be able to because you are playing football.
Yeah, I forgot. I will, when I get back from football at around about 7:30, 7:45, I'll come on and we can discuss about who we've got and pick that apart. So yeah,
cool, nice. So back onto transfers. Tammy Abraham and Tammy Abraham potentially incoming. Seems to be gathering quite a lot of pace. It also looks like it's potentially going to be a perm deal, 11 mil. Is what it's looking at.
Is that just a straight up buy? Because I've read numerous things this morning about complications because Liam Bailey's there, and it technically is a Besiktas player, and you've got
So I think from what I've been reading is that Besiktas, like I said, aren't going to stand in his way if they want the deal to go through. If he wants to go, if he really wants to go,
11 million quid, mate. That would be an absolute steal for a 28-year-old guy who's got Premier League experience.
The big thing that's come out is the deal the other way to kind of facilitate it with Roma and kind of make them do it, which is Donny going there for, I think it was 26 to 28 million euros, which I think is a small profit for us based on what we paid.
Because we paid like 20 million for him, right? Was it 20 million
pounds? Yeah, 20 million pounds.
Well, look, I do sit on the fence of this because I really like Donny. I think there's a player there. I thought he was excellent on Saturday. He has these moments, that go. We need him. I don't think we should be looking to offload him. I'd rather have him as an option with all three. I know that might not be possible, but he hasn't really been given the time to shine, in my opinion. And people will say, he's an impact player, and when he starts, he doesn't really have the same impact. But I would argue that he's never really had a run of games to have an impact as a starter. Like you'll start one, have an average game or a poor game, and then not play for another 6 games. And, footballers need that consistency and breeds confidence. I've seen enough in him. His movement, his predatory kind of instinct in the box when he takes chances early. There is a player there. And I was talking about this on TikTok Live last night that, Unai Emery is a world-class coach, and I absolutely think he's the man to take. I want him to stay at the Villa forever, but you have to be in his favour for him to get that development. Like if you look at Harvey Elliott and you look at Donyell Malen, who's been at the club just over a year, they haven't really been shown the love that, say, Ollie Watkins has been shown, the perseverance of that, of playing Jadon Sancho to a certain degree, being given opportunity after opportunity and not performing. It's kind of, it feels to me that, I'm not saying it's unfair, but they don't, like, these players, Elliott and Martin, haven't even been given the opportunity to say, I'm worthy of being in this team, and so Harvey Elliott want to understand more so because it felt like a much thing. But this Marlon thing, from what I've read, and we've spoken about this before on the show, where Unai pursued him for nearly 3 years to get him.
Yeah, 3 years.
So it's a bit weird.
I think
then get rid of him.
I think the difficulty, like we talked about his position, right? And we talked about the difficulty of knowing where he should play and whether he works as a lone striker, whether he should be off another striker, which means then we have to change the way we play, like change our system and tweak it a bit. I think if you look at the alternative of you bring in Tammy Abraham as well, and you've got Donny still there in our squad, his minutes diminish even more, don't they? Yeah. He's even further down the pecking order. So at that point, you're kind of like, well, if someone wants him as part of this deal, then maybe it does make sense. But also, I think the time where we brought him in and the time where we were looking at him, we had that out-and-out winger in Bailey, and it was working. We had a really pacey wing, and he was getting across, he was getting to the byline, he was cutting in. And then maybe he thought, okay, if we bring Donny in, he'll give us a slightly more narrow option. He'll give us someone who can potentially play out wide. But then he's worked with him more and gone, actually, he's not that player. He's not a replacement for Bailey. He's not that kind of kind of winger, which I think Emery potentially wants as an option for us to play with. And so maybe with that, it's kind of been a thing of he's neither a striker, he's not a winger. It's kind of hard to work out where he fits in. And I understand us going like there's a quality player in there potentially, and yes, we give him minutes. But Emery isn't the kind of man that's going to tweak his system and change it for players. The player,
no, he's not. But so I disagree slightly because Emery is meticulous in his planning, and you don't chase a player for 3 years not knowing that he hasn't got that set position.
But maybe he thought there was potential for X,
mate, yeah,
but that just hasn't come out.
Well, yeah, maybe, but you know, I just there is also, if I was Donyell Malen, I'd probably be going, actually, I'm doing my career no favours here. It's a World Cup year.
Yeah, he might be sitting there going, look,
I need to be playing, really. Yeah. So if there is that option, maybe he's going, look, if there's an opportunity for me to move, then I want to take it because I need to be playing. I just think it's a shame because I think there's a player there. I think he proved that on Saturday. I thought he was excellent up front. I think his movement was good.
He's not raw because he's experienced, but there's a rawness to him in that, like, anything could happen at any minute. And he's direct and he's fast.
He's direct from in the first half, particularly. He was good. Second half, he didn't really get a sniff. Spurs dominated that first 10 minutes of the second half, and then he was subbed off for Watkins. But in the first minute against Spurs, literally ball into his feet. First thing he's done, he's taking on the defender, and he beats him, gets a shot. I mean, the shot was awful; it went into fucking Rose Ed. But like the actual directness of his play is something that we don't have, apart from like Rodgers does it, but Watkins would never do that up front. He's not trying to beat players, and yeah, and that's what it was like. So I think he's got some stuff to offer. You're right about if he was to stay. Then you're right. If you got Tammy, then I mean, you could play him out on the right, but again, he's not really. The options there, but at the same time, you know, for me, you've got Gasson coming back from Ivory Coast, who's doing nothing. You don't drop McGinn. I know McGinn's playing there, and we've said I'll die on that hill that he's wasted out there, but I'm not getting him out of my team purely for what he brings. Everywhere else on the pitch, right? And so it's an interesting dilemma to have. And I guess, I'd say personally for Marlon, I'd be looking at leaving. And if Tammy's to come, it's more of a like for Watkins, that's for sure. So it is direct competition, and it doesn't change the dynamic of our team too much. And actually, you're bringing in a player that knows the club, will know what's expected of him. Because I said this to you yesterday, I think he fits Emery's MO. You know, in terms of he's very similar to Watkins in his work rate, and with under the tutelage of Emery, he could turn into a real top striker still. Tammy Abraham. The potential has always been there, and I think the fact that I know that Tammy, I just know he loves the Villa. You could see before. I think he wanted to stay, but we had no choice. He had to go back to Chelsea. We only had him on loan. They wanted him because he was brilliant for us, and he never got the opportunity to represent us in the Premier League, which was just a damn shame. So bring the boy home, right?
He had a good season at Chelsea. As well.
Chelsea, yeah, he did. Yeah. He was excellent. He was again not really given probably as much opportunity as he probably should have been, but he was always backed himself, and that's rightly so. So again, I haven't really followed him properly around Europe, so I don't know what his stats are. And someone said to me yesterday that he scored something like 30 goals in 5 years, which isn't, amazing.
He's been injured a fair bit, though, I think.
But he's been injured a fair bit. And the other stumbling block for this thing is his wages, right? Because I think he's on huge wages.
So one of the people said this in our Villa WhatsApp channel, and yeah, I kind of agree, but I disagree at the same time in that he wages nowadays. You're lucky to get a player of any decent level under 100k a week.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So to sit there and go, he's on massive wages at 115k a week. I'm like, is he? I'm kind of like, yeah, okay. If you're hitting that 150, 160k, then you're like, that's quite high. And you've got Sancho's on a 200k a week.
Marlon's on 140k a week, isn't he?
Exactly right, and it's also that kind of so actually I think that it's not. I don't think it's that much. So actually we're saving if we're making a swap. We're gaining fee. So actually, when you think of it on like a numbers basis, it makes complete sense. It's an interesting one, like you said, around him being closer to Watkins in style means we don't have to change system. The thing that I'm interested in, though, a little bit is I think what Malen gives us, though, is that impact difference when he comes on.
I agree.
So if you think on another player who's kind of like the same but maybe fresher, or not the same, it's not the same as Watkins, but he offers something slightly
similar. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Similar. You don't change the way the game feels in any way. Whereas with Malen, you've got another way of playing.
I agree.
So potentially there's something in that.
It's going to be fascinating to see how the next couple of weeks pan out. But either way, like in Emery, we trust, mate. I've got a complete faith in what he's doing. So it's like,
and it's not blind trust. It's not blind trust. He's got a record now. He's got a good time.
Mate, we had a funny moment on TikTok Live last night, right? Because we're all kind of giving our opinions, right? Because let's face it, we're all football experts. But like, I've got people going, like, clearly I know better. I work in Tesco. Yeah, I work at Cadbury, so I fucking know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm a house husband, so obviously my opinion is the one it's the one that counts the most. Because we're all like, we've all played Football Manager, so therefore we're all experts, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
We know fuck all, mate. We're just speculating, aren't we? And we love it, and it's a fan based thing. But that's the fun bit of it, and I think this is just from a purely, authentic fan base, really, that's reacting to what we think could happen. But it is funny how passionate we get about it, right?
It doesn't really happen in anything else, really, does it? It's like I think even in your own job, you kind of like you're just like, oh no, you're the boss, cool. Like generally, I mean, there's sometimes you have debates and stuff, but generally, whereas with this, you're not even close to being qualified in that role. You're questioning the manager and you want them out. Get out. Makes no sense, does it?
Play Malen up front. You just go, like I've watched him play at least 10 times now, so I know him better than you, Emery. You know what I mean? Like Emery doesn't know what he's doing. Like, but you hear these things, right? And you go, oh my God. It's funny. But I just find it really fascinating as football fans how we react to stuff. It's like you say, it doesn't happen anywhere else. And ultimately, when you pick it apart, mate, I'm barely qualified to operate this iPad in front of me, let alone kind of start talking about tactics and financial decisions for our football club. But I do feel that we're in the right hands, and it's what a journey this season's been from the start to now. Like it's something we should be excited about, and obviously we're always going to get the haters, and they're coming out from under the wood. Like some of the comments I've had from Spurs. I mean, I have upset Spurs fans, to be fair, and they're pretty easy to do that. I said that story yesterday about when I said Heung-min Son wasn't as good as Rodgers, and we'd put right. They've all gone mental.
It's great fun. I love getting the banter. If anyone of our fans is on here and they want to jump in the comments, I love it. Like, it's just
the internet out there. Not all people, but the problem is, right, I think there's a lot of neurodiverse people that aren't diagnosed because people take things so literally on the internet, right? So as an example of this, right, there's a new CapCut thing where you can make it's an AI thing and it gives you a little model of yourself, right? And I did it in my Villa tracksuit and I just was a bit of a laugh, right? And I posted it on TikTok and said, new merch available, right? And everyone like, mate, where do I get this from? Like, and one person said, why you suddenly put this of yourself when surely you'd be better with the players? And I was like, mate, oh God, look, it's just.
Some of you were saying, where do we get this from? Let's make it then.
Yeah.
If people want that, Jesus Christ,
mate. I don't know if you can. I could send it to you right now if you want to look at it because it's funny.
Yeah, chuck it in, and I'll give it a go. So the other thing, obviously the other player that we've been heavily linked with is a certain Mr. Conor Gallagher.
Yes.
This seems to be kind of doing the rounds. It seems to be gathering a bit of momentum as well. But it's just the thing that cracks me up is all of a sudden we're going to be scuppered by Spurs. Like,
so
sorry, what?
This was on Talk Sport this morning, mate. I was in my car. I just dropped my daughter at school, and I'm driving home, and they were talking about Man United at first, right? And then about the manager situation. And then it piped up, like, and in other transfer news, Tammy Abraham, Conor Gallagher to Aston Villa. And I thought, oh, brilliant, let's turn this up. Let's listen to what they got to say. And it's all going well. Like, talking about what we've just talked about. Tammy potentially looks like a good move, could happen, all this kind of stuff. And then, the other one is Conor Gallagher. And at first it started off really well because they said, it's a World Cup year. It's kind of out of sight, he's not unhappy in Madrid, but I think he's out of sight, out of mind. And, what better way than to, come and play in the Premier League again under Unai Emery, and it could really kind of give him a chance of getting into that World Cup squad. He said, but to scupper it, Spurs are also interested, and he could easily improve them. And I just was like, why would you go to Spurs? Like, what's the attraction there? They got a nice stadium. I'll give them that.
The thing I think of is that he'll get more minutes because he'll surely play every game. But they're in disarray. The potential, the manager could be leaving before the end of the season.
Well, mate, the only reason he goes to Spurs is if they offer him stupid money. That's it. Yeah. That's the only reason he goes.
Do though?
Well, no, but they could do, couldn't they? If they really wanted him, they could outbid us. They could offer him a better contract.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But that's it. We know, as we mentioned at the start of the show, Spurs will ultimately be a superpower next year with money financially. So we've got that to compete against. But if I'm Conor Gallagher looking at it, you've got Unai Emery who's wanted him previously, and wanted him before he went to Atletico. And so if you look at the project at Villa compared to that of Spurs, they're at the very beginning. It's a no-brainer, really. He comes to the Villa all day long. And these two signings for me would be perfect to get us. I don't even think these are two signings that were going to be long-term kind of effect at the Villa. I think they're players that could, and under Emery could actually boss them. But for me, this would be from now to the end of the season. Let's to replicate what we've done, to finish in the Champions League spots, hold on to that third place. I think that has to be goal now, and win the Europa League and the FA Cup. Why not? We're going to win the treble. We're going to win the treble. Now you're going to believe us, and now you're going to believe us.
But yeah, no, I agree. I'd love to. I've always liked Conor Gallagher. I think he's a really hard-working engine in the middle of the pitch. I think he gives us, like I said, that thing where if McGinn isn't available, McGinn also, he can't play 90 minutes anymore. He's getting to 60, 70 minutes. He generally knocks it. And we lose something when he comes off. And especially if you don't have a Nana as well, potentially, because, again, you have to rotate the team. So we need another player like that kind of engine in the middle of the park. So I think it'd be quality. And I think, like I said, in a World Cup year, getting back in that squad, and he's out of mind, but I think he's fell out a little bit of favour in Madrid. I don't believe he's starting every game from what I understand. But I think his numbers are still decent, so we'll have to obviously keep an eye on that one, because I think that's gathering weight, but it's not in the final stages from what I can tell. And then one other player is which it seems like last night might have scuppered it a bit. Because Mbappe has got a knee injury now, is Gonzalo Garcia from Real Madrid. So we have actually apparently, again, we're not in the know, so we just literally read whatever we can find and try and find good, decent sources wherever we can. Apparently, we have made a bid. It's actually an official bid of 27 million or something like that for him.
Mate, I'll be amazed if that happens.
Mbappe's done his knee as well, so it basically means no, because he'll be playing. So I think that's not going to happen, which is a shame, because I think, unreal. That would have been one, mate. That would have been one.
We might as well say, mate, as you're talking about Madrid, congratulations to Marcus Rashford on winning the Spanish Super Cup.
Yes.
Barcelona beat Real Madrid 3-2 yesterday.
What a game that was, by the way. Did you see the first half? Crazy scene.
Vinicius Junior's goal was insane, mate.
I've never seen a player though not pass as much as Vinny. Every time he's running out, I'm like, square it there, mate. Square it.
Yeah.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So no. So these are the fact of the matter is, as Goldbridge alluded to there, we're trying to bring in players. We said it at the start, if we could bring in one or two in January, which I think is going to happen, whoever that is, right? And if it is Tammy and Gallagher, I think that is sensible business by the club. I think it's enough to get us over the line. I do. pleasantly surprised in the level of performance on Saturday against Spurs. Like I wasn't sure if the players would be up for it necessarily, but even Morgan Rogers came out before the game and says we want to win trophies, and so maybe it's there. And I was talking on TikTok Live yesterday in terms of the mentality, and this is how much we don't know about fans. And it got me thinking about a story about Yuri Tillemans when I met him at Acorns a couple of years ago, and it was before when we played Man City at Villa Park. We beat them 2-1, and mate, well, he's one of the nicest guys I know, because literally I was chatting to him as if he was my best mate. I was like, right, Man City on Saturday, like,
I remember you
win,
saying,
right? And he went, he looked me dead in the eye, and he went, yeah, we're going to win, we're going to beat them, right? And I was like, mate, even I thought we're going to win.
Like, what are you fucking do, Lally?
Right? But I was like, okay, we're going to win, right? And I went away, and I went to that game, and I remember saying to Ava, we're going to win today. And like, but it's City. I said, no, we're going to win today. Yuri Tillemans told me, and I just know we're going to win.
Yuri Tillemans told me, we're going to win.
And we did, and he was brilliant, mate. I think it was Yuri who played, like, Duran and Rogers scored, right? And it was, we were 2-0 up, and it got me thinking that we know nothing. It's this elite mentality in players is that belief that, like, we have the speculation go, oh, no, we can't beat City, or we can't beat, or whatever, right? You've got these factors, but as professional athletes, they're like, no, we're going to win. Like, we know we're going to win. And I think that mentality is in our squad right now. I think it's throughout it.
That's the thing, isn't it? Even if you're like not necessarily prioritising that tournament or whatever, the players just want to win games. They're just going to win. They want to win every game, whoever it's against, whatever it is. So whether it's against Exeter or Wrexham or whatever it is, whatever tournament, they want to win, and they want to keep.
I think that's what Emery's brought to the table, mate. I think in days of old, we didn't have a squad that believed. We probably had one or two players that were in that mentality, like Grealish's and stuff, but we never really had a team bond like that. And again, the biggest thing for me was that togetherness of the squad at Spurs. Like, after the game, they're all celebrating with the fans. There's the ruckus that kicked off. They're all fucking like, I've never, even Jadon Sancho sprinting the fastest ever sprint to come and break you up. I'm like, why can't he run that fast when he's, anyway, right? There is something special happening. I'm a firm believer. And like I said, that mentality of we're going to win is priceless, mate, because it's that belief. And I think McGinn even talked about it in the post-match presser. He was like, we just know where each other are. We talked about it with a goal with Malen. Like he didn't even look up for the pass. He just knew someone was going to be there. It felt like a choreographed move. Look, I've watched it back at least 20 times. The goal, ping, 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 ping. Like that is, it's ultimately coached.
I saw a slow-mo, a really like, I don't know if you've seen someone sometimes on YouTube Shorts and stuff. You get these like guys who've done like football moves, but they've slowed them right down, and they've got like epic cinematic music behind them. It's this thing's a thing of beauty, and it was our second goal. So it was with Rogers. I don't know why, I never quite realised Buendia's flick.
Oh, mate, even I saw
that. Mate, watching it with the music, I'll try and find it out for you. It's just like, it's wonderful
poetry
to
in motion, mate. Poetry in motion.
So nice, so nice.
And that's in tune, mate. Like it was brilliant to watch. I was really chuffed for Buendia, like, because he was man of the match by a clear mile, and he'd had I was a bit worried because it felt like last few games he'd come on and he started a couple, but just been a little bit missing. So to put in a performance like that against Spurs was brilliant. It just shows that he's going to probably have a real impact for us for the rest of the season. It might not be consistent, but I think there's stuff that he can do, and when he's on it, and that system in particular that we played on Saturday really worked for him. So yeah, mate, it's just a fucking great time to be alive, isn't it? And be a Villa fan. So
it'd be interesting to see over the next season or so, or in the next couple of windows, because we've talked quite a lot about this squad and this team, generally being pretty similar to that of like 4 or 5 years ago or whatever. And people talk about players and like how they've had them for so long, but I think a lot of people forget that these players age. So obviously Watkins is he 31 now, turning 31, I think soon though, and then
he's just turned 30, mate. I think he's just turned 30. He's 30 in
McGinn's
December.
McGinn's I think approaching 31. You then got Buendia, who is, I think, he's just turned 29. So it'll be interesting over the next couple of seasons. There's a lot of these players who are brilliant, but we are going to need to. And that's the thing that we've always said about Emery. The only thing that he hasn't had is those kind of like 25-year-old or 23-year-old younger understudies who are kind of getting minutes and coming through. And so we end up having to buy every window to try and get those. And obviously we've bought a couple of like youngsters with Allison and the Maggio as well, and that kind of thing. But we just don't know if they're going to be around the team or not.
Well, no. Look,
it's interesting to see where the next 2 seasons, how this team's going to evolve, because it's going to have to. It's going to have to evolve.
But mate, it's all about getting the core. And if you look at a core of our team, right? If you look at 3 players at the core, right? You've got Konza, who's 28, right?
So he's all right. He's all right for another couple of seasons, isn't he?
Yeah, right. If he keeps look, there's still potential for Mings to continue. Like people go, oh, he's finished because it's in last year. But look at great defenders like Thiago Silva, for instance, who was playing at Chelsea at 38 at centre half, because the game's different, right? But it is I'm not saying that's the way. But what I'm saying is, with a centre half, you look after yourself. You're not doing as much running as a midfield player or a striker. So like there's potential to kind of to go on from there, right? Then you've got the main man, and we've got to keep him, Boubacar Kamara, 26 years old, mate. Right,
how he's so good at such a young age, and we've had him for like what, 3-4 years?
Yeah.
4 years?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Mate, he's got the potential to be one of the best holding midfielders in the world if he's not close to being it
Rogers,
personally, right?
Rogers young
and then
well.
Rogers, who's 23.
And that's the like you said, that's that core, isn't it? And that's
that spine of the team, mate, right? And that's where you start, and then the rest you build around it. Those are the 3 players for me that you build this squad around, right? And you can kind of you can have flexibility over the rest, but obviously we've got other great players around them. But if you look at those 3 as that core, then they've all got massive potential to arguably be the best in the world. And I know, and people and fans will come at us and go, Ezri Konsa is the one that annoys me the most. Him and Boubacar do not get the plaudits they deserve. Now we watch.
Kamara can't even get in the France squad.
I know, it's mental, mate. Even
they are massively stacked, like in that area. But still, like he's literally. We've said if he was playing for City or Liverpool or someone like that, he'd be in that. Or playing in France.
France's loss is our game, mate, because it means I don't know. Maybe that's the only thing that could pull him away from us, that he wants to play international football.
And the other thing with these players, Konsa has been pretty good. He's been pretty durable. Rogers has been pretty durable, plays every bloody game.
But Kamara,
Kamara's had those injury worries, and it's just like you can easily have one bad one and then just doesn't quite come back.
And maybe that's what's holding him back. Maybe that's that they don't want to risk.
I think that's what's done Mings as well. Like we talk about Mings. That's the thing, when you get into that older age, when you've had those big injuries, they resurface or they niggle or they start to do, and that's the thing with it with Mings, unfortunately. So I reckon, because like Lindelof, he's shown he's 31 and he's fine, like he's doing fine, and but Mings, it's just the injuries that worry me a little bit with some of these players.
Anyway, we said that's the key component, mate, keeping these guys fit, that core and around. If we do that, then we've got a great chance.
The strength and conditioning coaches have got their work cut out.
Yeah, man, 100%. But what a time to be alive, mate. What a time to be alive.
Exactly. So obviously we will jump back on if there is any kind of official stuff. We're not going to jump on if someone's even if Fabrizio Romano is saying, here we go nowadays. I don't trust it. Until that player is stood there holding that shirt. And even then, I'm still with Harvey Elliott, I'm like, will he even play? I don't know. So I reckon we shouldn't do it, guys, until they're on the pitch. Until they're on the pitch, we're not reviewing
they're definitely playing for the Villa. Yeah, once they're in the starting lineup, then we'll do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So yes, we will jump on at some point, and then I think Friday we're going to try and do the Everton preview. So we are trying to get a opposition guest on, like we usually do for that. And then Sunday, did you say you? Oh no, we're going to be at the game, aren't we? So you're going to be doing a live talk.
Do live stream from the game. come and say hi if you're in and around Trinity Road. We'll be there roughly about an hour before kick-off. Come and say hello. Don't be scared. It's we can, if you don't mind having a selfie taken, then you can be on the vlog and it'll be all right. Happy days.
Yeah, exactly. Gaz, final thoughts and finish up.
Mate, fantastic weekend. Like the transfer speculation news is brilliant. I think it's just how we would have wanted it to play out. Hopefully, we can get those two in particular, Conor Gallagher and Tammy, over the line. I think that will be amazing. We go into the Everton game this weekend with a full week's kind of training and rest and recuperation. So hopefully, we'll have a little bit more information about Kamara's injury, and hopefully, it's not too bad. Emery did say that in the press conference that he's hoping that it's not too bad, but he needs to be assessed. And I think that's kind of where we're at. If that goes well, and we can kind of, I don't know, maybe Onana might be close to being back. I don't
know any timelines on him.
I haven't heard anything about that. So let's hopefully by Friday when we come and do our preview, there'll be a little bit more information out about, so we can kind of cover that, and hopefully we can go into that game against Everton with a strong squad. I mean, even if they're not, Bogard had a good game. We know he's not the exact replacement, replica for Kamara or Onana, but he's good enough to play in that position. And against Everton at home, I fancy us, mate. I do.
Grealish will be available because his domestic ban was the cup.
Okay.
So he will be available for the game. So just quickly on that before we go, how do you think his reception will be if he does come on, if he does play?
I think he's probably burnt too many bridges, mate, with stuff that he did with the threat. Not for me. I'll always be a fan, mate. I watch this kid grow up through Villa. I think he's inoffensive. He's a kid living his dream, mate, and he's a Villa fan primarily. And watch that documentary about John McGinn, and he's on it. You could see in his eyes, mate. It lights up around Villa talk and chat.
I want to believe that maybe now, with him being at Everton, not at City, potentially there's a bit of like love that's come back. It's kind of like this humble thing, and we all, I think, even at fans who are like kind of like give him stick, I think we all want him to do well, because we're like, he's a young Villa lad, he's a Villa fan, he's claret and blue all the way through, and he potentially could have been, still maybe got time, but he's potentially could have been one of the best you've seen in the league.
I would have taken him over Sancho any day of the week. I'd have rather paid the money for him than Sancho. And, but obviously we couldn't negotiate that deal. And so it's a shame. But I've got no ill feeling against Jack Grealish. How can you? He went from a cannery product and made us 100 million. Like, it's insane.
Just into the Premier League. Back into the Premier League. Like, unbelievable.
And if people are upset about how he's done little things, whatever, like, it's all part of banter. I ain't got no problem with that, mate. I'll never boo him. I'll always kind of. I think he's a great character.
All these people are moaning about it. I'll be interested to see what would happen if they had a stadium full of like 40,000 people shouting crap at them. I'd be interested to see how they reacted.
Mate, people go to meltdown over a comment online, let alone having 40,000 live people shout at you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a pantomime, isn't it? That's what it is. Like, none of us know Jack Grealish personally, but from the snippets that we do, like, I know that he's done stuff without any recognition for charity and stuff. Like, I know that because when Abby was in hospital, mate, we had basically it was around a birthday. Basically, he was an England international, and he basically just sending a load of signed footballs for the kids on the ward. That's not publicised or anything like that. Like, it's just
he's the best thing since sliced veg. That's
mate,
what he is.
Absolutely. I love him as a character. I think he wears his heart on his sleeve. His TV interviews have always been brilliant. He's clearly not the sharpest knife in the fucking tool shed, right? But because I'll always remember when best
thing since sliced veg is just the greatest guy.
Yeah. but it suits him for Jack, mate. And we'll leave it on this one where I think on England when Henderson came up to him, they had to put as players where they were from, right?
Right, yeah.
He just like.
Oh, right, with the map. Oh, yeah, I remember that. He was just flying like blue.
Like, I can't do it. And then the other one was like, you're an encyclopedia of something or other. And he went, what's that? What's an encyclopedia?
Oh, he's brilliant. Yeah, he's very good. He's just
mate. I think you lift these people up because he's inoffensive. Yes, he's made mistakes in his career and stuff in terms of personal stuff, but who hasn't? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm a fan, and he'll get a round of applause from me. I look forward to it. Bring on Everton on Sunday, and as always, every week we follow the boys in claret and blue.
See ya.
Peace, people.